Hey there, I'm Ziski, this time as a fanboy with a deliberately cute voice, because for some reason that's what you all like for the god knows why. Yeah, and I'm doing this for the second time, because the first time the camera somehow fucked up the file, so that audio was missing in the first few minutes. But anyway, so today we are going to do some PC building, because I need to migrate my trusty old putter to a new case, because the old one was quite small and it was starting to cause some cooling issues. So as you can see, we have this nice big PC case. It's a real oldie. As you can see, it's missing some parts from the front, including the power button, but I don't miss it because I have this external power switch that goes on top of my desk, and it's like very nice. It has nice long cables, so who needs the front panel anyway? The thing I'm concerned about is the length of the GPU, since it's quite big, and I'm worried this part might be in the way. So I think I'm going to just remove this carefully here, and yeah, so this is the case, and we can put this aside for now. Don't mind the shoe. The most important part, I think, in a PC is the CPU. In my case, this is an AMD Ryzen 5 5500. Not the peakest of the peak of today's standards, but it does the job and I like it. The board it will go in is this Gigabyte B450M Age motherboard. Very nice. As you can see, I already applied the mounting brackets for the cooler. I lied, I actually didn't even take this off. As you can see, it has two memory slots, nothing fancy. One PCIe 16X Gen 2 slot, which is actually going to be a bit of an issue. More on that later. As well as this selector and the 2 slot hiding here for our SSD. A few SATA ports as well, I'm not going to use these. And on the back we have, I think, the most important part. We have PS2, because as you know, I'm a sucker for old school tech and I like to use my good old IBM PS2 keyboard, so this is nice. These are for the integrated graphics, but this CPU doesn't have that, so yeah. And then we have USB. These two blue pairs of USB are labeled as USB 3.0, but these actually go directly to the CPU, which in my case actually does support USB 3.1, and the wiring should be the same, so USB 3.1 it should be fine. And then we also have two USB 2.0s, as well as a few more USB 2.0s here on the headers, as well as a USB 3.0 header as well. These all are operated by the onboard chipset, and they share the same bandwidth actually, so that's sad, but anyways. 1 gigabit Ethernet controlled by Realtek chip, so no fancy drivers needed, and of course also Realtek audio. This can actually do multi-channel. These jacks are remappable, so you can do some magic. And one fun thing maybe is this RGB header here, which is apparently just here. You can configure the color to a fixed color in the BIOS setup, but then there is no user space program that can adjust it, so yeah, this funky little thing. I don't use that anyway. Let's start by installing the CPU. And don't worry, this carpet is completely, totally not anti-static, so it's completely not fine to put it down like this. So, open the socket, grab the thing itself, and look for this little marking on one of the corners, even though in my case there is no marking on the motherboard, but anyways, let's try to not mess it up. And also don't grab the CPU like this, like don't touch the pins, do not bend the pins. And let's try to not mess it up. Nicely, nice and sound, it's in there. And close the socket, and it's in. And then of course we need to put the cooler on top, but first I want to install the parts that would be otherwise hard to install when the cooler is on already. So let's take a look at our memory sticks. This is some G-Skill 8 gig stick, nothing fancy. Here is all the data if you are interested. Of course I have 2 of them, and the board has 2 slots, so there is not much to mess up here. Look for the notch on the stick itself here, and there is also, match that up with the socket. Nice. Push it right nicely in until it clicks, and it's in. You can see. Nice. In. The next thing I think should be the SSD, which in my case this nice Seagate Barracuda 500 gig thingy, and this is going to be the only drive in this PC because I use an NAS, like network attached storage, for all the archival stuff, so this should be more than enough. I mean, I already have my system installed on here, so like I'm not going to do a reinstall, so it's just putting back the old system as is. Oh, and first, no. First we need to insert this little plastic thingy, this guy. Because as you can see, we have these 3 holes here, and depending on how long your thing is, you need to put it in the right hole. As you can see, this is a very long boy, so the last hole will be the one to support this end of the card. So you need to put this small thing into here. It's nicely in, and let's not break the motherboard in the process. I actually prefer screws over this kind of shit, but anyway it works. And then let's insert the drive itself and put this thingy into the thingy there, and I think, it should be nice. Okay, and now that everything is in basically, now it's time to install the CPU cooler, which of course is not the factory stock cooler for the CPU because I like it when things are silent. So accordingly, I have this big chunk of aluminum called the Be Quiet Pure Rock 2, and of course there is also a fan for this. So, but I need to install that after I have installed this thingy onto the thingy, because logistics. But of course first we need to apply some thermal paste, and first it's nice to first get rid of the old one, and I use this kind of shit, contact cleaner. Some nice tissue. Yeah. We want a nice clean surface in order to get a nice good cooling performance, and as clean the CPU itself as well the same way. Don't worry, this stuff does not hurt anything or anyone. See how much junk it takes off. And now it's time to apply the new paste, MX4. Not a paid promotion at all. And I'm not going to show you what pattern I put the paste on, because I'm it's a very intimate and personal topic, and I'm not confident sharing that with you. Like, go subscribe to my OnlyFans for that. And as you can see, there is actually there is this thingy that will go across bridge across this thingy, of course after the cooler is on, so that it will fit in this like notch thingy here. Yeah, so it will go this way some way. So yeah, and then put it nicely here, and once, for God's sake, once you put it in, don't take it off, because you will mess up the paste and air will get into under it, and yeah, that's not good. And yeah, let's try to nicely put this through here. AM4 socket for the win. And yeah, where's my this trusty orange screwdriver? Don't tighten just one of them. Go try to balance it, like a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh shit. And yeah, also let's try to not hurt the motherboard with the tip of the screwdriver. Infinity thread, infinite thread. Yeah, nice. Don't tighten it too much, just use your instincts. And yeah, now it's on. And of course we also have a fan. Like yeah, we need to apply it on one side of this big block. I like to always do like positive pressure inside the heatsink as well. So I will need to put, because like we want to pull air from the front to the back. So, and you can there should be some rows on here, as you can see right there. It pushes that way, so that should face backwards. So this is the right orientation, I think. And the cable, actually the CPU fan is nice and great. And of course we also have to like make sure it stays here. And for that purpose we have this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate doing this. Goes into the between the fins of this shit. Of course one side is easy, but the other, like so, I think it should be fine. And the other side, yeah, it needs some practice to do, but yeah, once you figure it out, oh my goodness. And yeah, it will bend. There is no way this won't bend when you do this, but let's fix it with a nice and snug screwdriver maneuver. Yeah, better than nothing. I don't know who invented this method of mounting the fan, but I would like to have a word with you. It's time to revisit our case. Put this thing aside and magic. First thing to do, don't forget the I/O shield, which is this one. To yeah, I think probably it's for shielding purposes as well. This is what connects actually the motherboard's back side connector to the case itself. So yeah, it should be. I'll turn it to make it easy to see for you. So like this is the yeah, from inside out. This is where you can actually use some force even if it doesn't feel right. Yeah, nice, it's in. And then we need to put in the motherboard, but be careful, because like there is a certain way the screw holes are arranged on the motherboard, and you need to make sure that actually these standoffs are at the correct locations. In my case they are, because I have already tested some motherboards of this same form factor in this case, but if it's not, then you can take some of these off and put it in the right location, should there not be already there. So yeah, with that said, I always grab the whole thing by the heatsink, because that's the most stable part of the build. Yeah. In. And make sure the holes actually align with the screw holes underneath, and then try to find some of the right screws, because there are two kind of screws in PC building. One is this regular M3 metric 3mm screw, and the other one is this that I don't know the name of, but the threading is different. It's a big threading, and this is in my case this is the one that is for the motherboard screws, but this can be different depending on the case you have, so always make sure that you use the right screws for the right holes. And first I'm just put these screws in like loosely, not tighten it yet. You just need to first make sure that they all align. Yeah, and now that all are in, now you can tighten them. Don't tighten them too much, it's not a truck. I mean, this case is a bit funny. I think there's a bit too much space between the back panel and the actual connectors themselves. Not sure if you can see it, but like, anyways, it should be fine. And then I think we can move on to the GPU or VGA card if you prefer. This is a Radeon RX 6600, even though it doesn't say it anywhere, but trust me, it is. Gigabyte, 3 fans, only fans. And yeah, now I need to put this right here. And yeah, the thing I was talking about, this GPU actually uses a PCIe Gen 3 interface, and as I said, this motherboard only supports Gen 2. No, not that kind of Gen 2. But yeah, so it was an oversight on my part when I was picking the parts, but anyway, should be fine for now. Nicely in there, even though the screws don't quite line up. There is something interesting happening with this PC case. Like, what the heck? Not sure where you can see it, but like, there is the screw hole. Like, why do I have to bend the case so much to... Oh my goodness. Anyways, let's screw it in. Like, there is the whole size of offset between the two holes. Anyway, screw it, pull it into place, I guess, and yeah, that's in, and also don't forget there is this like a latch thingy on the PCI slot. Don't forget to close this to make sure it won't fall off. So yeah, and the last thing left is the power supply.